for Naughty by Nature.
Welcome to the Sackdown. To the thousands of listeners out there, I'm your host, Stormy Daniel. This is my co-host, Chase of Base. This will be your weekly dose of all things Sack Up. Today's Sackdown will take us through a weekly recap with an update on standings and scores, Chase's cheap shot of the week, Dan's Stone Cold Fantasy Lock of Week 4, sexy not so sexy ad drops. Chase kicks off with a Week 3 recap. Do it.
Aversa stays hot by taking down my co-host, Stormy Daniel. Rode Juju again for the third week in a row and getting massive numbers from the great white hype, Adam Thielen. Testa put up a decent effort. OBJ had good numbers and Hyde did some work. But at the end of the day, it's safe to say the Peyton Barber experiment is officially over.
Over.
The battle for Ellis Road between the Carver brothers. Darnold Trump's toadstool gets in the win column finally on the backs of the classic tandem of George Kittle and Robert Woods, who didn't have them. Scotty, with a patchwork lineup, had his two best running backs out, drops to 0-3. I think again, for maybe the third year in a row, is it time to pull the plug on Scotty? Time will tell. I was able to see the power of the Pandas up close this week as Joyce did his best Bill Cosby impression and dropped some dizzy powder in my drink, and it was all over from there. More on this later, but high score of the week at 171. Damn impressive MJ. The namesake, Wentz, is back for Johns, and he was able to beat the newlywed Clean Living.
Lucky.
Riding the oldest backfield in the history of the NFL, Beast Mode and AD. Johnsy was able to pull off a win. And Wendell, your bench looks fantastic, man. Well done.
Where's Frank Gore, man? That's not the oldest backfield.
Sass shockingly improved to 3-0 on the season. Looks like he might have the most dangerous team through 3 weeks. Solid spot start with Gio Bernard. And monster games from Breeze and Gurley again. That guy's a fucking stud. Did in double McCaffrey, who is regretting drafting Brady, and Jimmy G, who can't get the fuck out of bounds. What was that? Dev picked up another win with a poor performance, but Eli's just what the doctor ordered. Put up 106 points, which is fucking pathetic. The Pat Mahomes pick could have Devin competing for a championship at year's end, and Will Fuller is back to form. Guy's a stud. For Eli, Keelan Cole came back to earth, and Duke Johnson continues to be Duke Johnson. Get that guy out of your fucking lineup, man. That referee. Over to Stormy Daniels.
All right, so let's take a look at the standings through 3 weeks. Teacup more than enough, and Edelman must be due, both at 3-0. Then we got Devin, Chase, Joyce, and Eli, surprisingly, at 2-1, all packed together in there. From there, it's a double McCaffrey with Fries, Carver, Dan Carver, Johns, and the lowly Stormy Daniel at 1-2. And the basement looks like Clean Living. Oh, that's so classic. And Fournette down territory, as per usual,
Yeah, I mean, some usual suspects at the top and the bottom there. Feel like there's a lot of parity in this league this year, though. I'm Sass surprising everyone at 3-0, hot out the gates, looking like he has a strong team, and Scotty, just doing Scotty things down there.
The middle has to sort itself out here. 2-1, 1-2. It's like 8 teams in there. It'll be an interesting week 4. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, week 4 is going to be interesting. This is moving week. This could really set some people up for a playoff run. I know it's early, but you start getting in that 1-3 mode, you kind of lose the locker room. It's tough.
This is desperation week.
It is. It is. All right, moving on to the waiver wire winner of the week. That is Mike Joyce with the pickup of Calvin Ridley. Dropped Danny Amendola. Now seems like a no-brainer. Picked him up for $8. A lot of ROI there, a lot of value. Just the week before, he was on Dan Carver's team, and Carver went ahead and dropped him. So, Dan, nice work.
Kudos.
Start of the week, Joyce, fuck yourself. I could have given this to you, but you smoked me, and I refuse. Gonna go with Robert Woods here. 33.7 points for Carver's team. Guy's been playing his ass off. Rams look tough. Carver, well done there. And then the manager of the week, have to give it to the high score. Joyce, the high score, 171.4. Kicked my ass. And then obviously the Ridley spot start, got over 40 points as a flex play. Not going to lose to many people doing that. So, Joyce, well done. Cheap shot of the week is next, but real quick, a word from our sponsor.
Yeah, we've got to give it up for our sponsor here. They do a lot of work for us, and we really got to appreciate what they do. So this one's brought to you by Dan Carver's book of dog excuses. And this is an incredibly written book for those of you who want to get out of hanging out with your friends on the weekends, especially during the weekdays. I think you'll find it really helpful there. But it's full of a ton of little nifty excuses that can help you stay on your couch with your dog and away from any awkward social situations. So I'm going to ask you all of our listeners, head to damnedexcuses.com, type in code SACKUP, and you're going to get 15% off. Chase, take it away.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to the sponsors. This production, everything we're doing here is brought to you by them. So, Carver, we appreciate you, man. All right, cheap shot of the week. Was going to go in a few different directions here, but ultimately settled on Mike Wendell. I mean, this is year 3 of the clean living name, which is completely unacceptable. That's a lack of effort, and it shows, and your team's 0-3. I mean, do they correlate? I don't know, but it sure as hell seems like it. So figure it out, man. I don't know. Again, you're in last place, not to really harp on it too much. I know we've said it, I think that's 7 times now, but, sack up, dude. Get your shit together. You're not in Santorini anymore. Figure it out. Let's go.
That's a great point, and I just want to harp on the word stack up, because that's what the league's all about. So, Mike, just go ahead. Grab them, buddy. We'll figure it out.
Moving on to spread them.
Spread them. All right, so we're looking at matchups and picking winners for week 4 here.
And we are using the spread and projections that ESPN is giving us, so we're using those lines to pick these picks.
Due to change, but we're going to run through all 6 matchups here for next week. We're going to start off with Brian taking on Stormy Daniel himself. This is kind of a joke of a play. I think it's a no-brainer that I take this one down. Brian's playing Jordy Nelson. It's hilarious. Everyone thinks it's funny. Should be an easy win for Stormy. Moving on, next one. We've got Calamito plus 1.5. over Fournette down territory. I think I'm passing on Matt here and taking Fournette down territory, starting Sony Michel, Buck Allen, Ben Watson, and Michael Crabtree. Yeah, no thanks, buddy. I think I'll take the Fournette there. Matchup
That's
3.
pathetic lineup, honestly. I mean, for Matt, and then really depends on if Scotty gets his running backs back. Is Cook healthy and is Fournette healthy? It's an easy one for me. They're healthy.
The hilarious part is Matt has rostered Ben Watson for 3 weeks in a row, like as an actual roster spot. So, yeah, we'll see how that works out. Sass is minus 12.9 over Duke Nukem. I think this, yeah, but this is an obvious winner. I think Eli's in the middle of the season here with real football. And he's just not a good juggler, right? Like, I know some good jugglers. Eli's not one of them. He's not good at doing two things at once. Looked like he had a rough week last week in real life, and I think it's carrying over to the fantasy world. What do you think?
Couldn't agree more. You know, guy's got a lot on his plate. Baby Cam at home. Stonehill underperforming at this point in the season. And then the Duke Nukem team just, I don't think is, you know, he had high expectations going into the season. I just don't think it's working out for him.
The Sneezing Panda, minus 6.8 over Wendell. I think this one's a no-brainer just based on Wendell. I don't think the guy's got his head on straight coming back from the honeymoon. The head's in the clouds. He's not focused. Change your goddamn name, Mike. Jesus.
No comment. I mean, we've said it all.
So I've got Chase over Jack in a real tight one. I don't like picking this one, actually. We got this one as my pick'em game. The matchups are interesting. I think this one could go either way. I think it's going to be high-scoring affair. It's going to come down to one or two guys playing their butts off. What do you think?
I mean, my team's not very good. If I don't have Kamara and Thomas going off, I'm basically fucked every week. So we'll see. As long as they go, I'm going to be semi-relevant. But Jack's got a tough squad.
Sure does. And the last pick here, I've got Carry On My Wayward Son as my stone-cold, bona fide fantasy lock of the week over Carver. And the reason is really because Dan's starting 2 49ers in his starting lineup, and they don't have a quarterback who can make completion. Actually, like in real life. So, that being said, I think this one's a no-brainer. I've got Dev by about 25 in this one, and I think it's going to be a blowout.
I agree, man. 2 49ers with Jimmy G out. It could be a bloodbath. And I don't know if Dan has the bench spots to fill those holes.
That's all I got, man. So, wrapping up, looking forward to week 4 here. Any finishing thoughts here coming up?
Excited for the week, man. You know, like we said, I think this is moving week. You lose this week, it's desperation time. You're throwing out some bullshit trades, just grabbing for straws at this point. And who knows, you know? There's a lot of good, you know, quality competition out there, and should be some high scores again this week. But, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the waiver wire on Thursday. There's not a lot out there. It's pretty thin, but could be some impactful moves. Other than that, you're right, man. This is desperation time. So win or make some really, really bad trades, and I could be one of those guys doing it. So looking forward to trading with everybody out there.
We'll see you next week, guys. We'll have a special guest on the show as well for a little spot interview. But yeah, looking forward to it. Send your feedback, questions, comments. We'll talk to you next week.